today we're going to talk about optimizing our Zoom settings for music lessons, because Zoom has some nice audio quality settings, but they're configured to automatically be for meetings, typical conversation. But when we're producing music and singing and playing instruments, that's a lot of different frequencies, a lot of different noises for Zoom to process outside of our normal conversation. And sometimes that can cause Zoom to interfere with the sound we're sharing unnecessarily. So let's get to fixing that so we can have optimal sound quality for our lesson time together. So first, I want you to make sure you have the Zoom app. Okay, so pause the video right now if you do not have the Zoom app downloaded on your device. That's going to allow you to go ahead and customize these settings we're about to do. Now that you've got the app, I want you to open up the app and I want you to start a meeting. Before we do that though, let's make sure that we're up to date. If you just downloaded the app, I'm sure you're all up to date. But here's how you will need to go to continue to stay up to date. Go up here to the top right corner where you see your account, right? Your initials, your username. You're going to click there and you'll see this drop down window, and I want you to scroll down to check for updates. So if you already had the app, now's a great time to make sure you do update, and remember to come back and update this from time to time so we can function optimally in your lesson time. I'm up to date. If you're not, go ahead and just click install and get that update installed, and meet us back here when you are up to date. Now let's start a meeting. This will allow us to look in our Zoom call audio settings by creating a meeting. If you've never done this before, you can start a meeting yourself. You can start it just for yourself, just to look through settings. So no one has to join you for that to be a meeting. One way to do that is to click right here, New Meeting. And here we are in our Zoom meeting. So I'd like you to come down here where our microphone is. So you know where you can mute and unmute your mic? Find that button right here. Mine's in the bottom left. My microphone is there. Notice there's a little arrow. If you don't see this on a phone, it would be best to look at this on an iPad, laptop, desktop, so you can dig a little deeper into these settings. If you're having any trouble on your phone, just head over to another device. So mute, unmute. Let's click that little arrow instead. And that pulls up a list of input and output settings we could change. I have a lot on here just because of my equipment and cameras and things like that, but you don't need any of that. All we need right here is audio settings. That's where I'd like you to go. Audio settings. Here we are, audio settings. I've reverted mine back to the defaults so we can walk through this together. Notice it says automatically adjust microphone volume. So Zoom does this so that if you get really quiet, it'll turn you up. If you get really loud, it'll turn you down. That's great for conversation, but when we start transmitting musical sounds, it'll do things like make your voice way quiet as soon as you start singing loudly, and that's a problem. So let's uncheck this. We don't want Zoom to mess with our volume level. Instead, I recommend inputting this around 75%, and we can always go back and edit that as needed in the future. If you need to be a little louder, need to be a little quieter, you can change that. 75% is a good place to start, kind of prevent some distortion there. All right. Next up, suppress background noise. So mine's set to auto. This setting is meant to help when someone starts cutting grass right out your window, or a dog starts barking, or a fan in the background is really loud. Zoom is going to come in and turn those things down. That's great, except that maybe if you start humming for a vocal exercise, it might go, oh, that's noise, and cut it out. And we don't want that. So instead of being on auto here, I'd like you to switch that to low so we have more control over the sounds that come through in your music lessons. All right, now here's a really cool option that Zoom has added to their settings, music and professional audio. So to see all of these settings that it's going to offer you, first I want you to click here. See where it says show in meeting option to enable original sound. You probably will not use the original sound setting itself that often, but you do need this set checked here so that you can access some other things. So hit check. so that you are enabling original sound. And now look, we have a little pop-up of extra things that appeared here. High fidelity music mode. We want this. This is going to help us have higher quality audio coming through our calls. And let's enable echo cancellation as well. Now, if you're using headphones, if you're using a microphone, you have an actual equipment setup for your input and output of audio here, then you're not going to want echo cancellation on. Your headphones are doing that for you, but none of you guys are using headphones. So as long as you're not using headphones, I want you to have echo cancellation enabled here. Now let's go down to advanced. This is the very last thing. Now, I've got echo cancellation set to auto here. You probably do as well. Just double check that. We never want echo cancellation to be on aggressive. That is going to interfere with our sounds too much. So leave echo cancellation on auto. So just to recap, this is what your settings should look like. You want to be able to control the input volume of the microphone. So automatically adjust microphone volume, we want that off. So that is unchecked. We're good to go there. Suppress background noise, we've got that set to low so that we don't have Zoom cutting out sounds unnecessarily. We have looked at music and professional audio. We've enabled original sound. We've enabled high fidelity music mode. We've enabled echo cancellation. And we have double checked that our echo cancellation is in fact set to auto, which is good. All right. And that is all of our Zoom settings for today. Thanks for watching this, and I'm happy to help you with this during your lesson time. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you soon. Happy